SwimOutlet.com delivers the best online shopping experience. With an extensive selection and the lowest prices, you're guaranteed to find the product you need. Here's what you get. Free shipping on all orders over $49. Free 1 to 2 day shipping on all orders over $99. All orders placed by 6 p.m. ship out the same day. Shop at SwimOutlet.com, the web's most popular swim shop.
Welcome to a very special edition of the Morning Swim Show. I'm Jeff Cummings here at the American Swim Coaches Association's World Clinic in Las Vegas, Nevada. Sitting next to me is Australian Olympic swimmer Andrew Lauterstein. Andrew, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So what brings you here to Las Vegas?
Well, I'm actually here working for Engine Eyewear, Engine Swim from Australia. So we're exhibiting down in the back left-hand corner, and it's been a really exciting week where we've been able to show off a lot of our products that we offer to the Australian market, and now with Rock Santos, being employed full-time here in the US, we're bringing Engine to the US market, and it's something that we're all really excited about.
And you're kind of the poster boy for Engine. Everywhere I see Engine, it's you. How do you feel about having your face up on everything?
To be honest, it's pretty embarrassing. I've been overseas for the last 3 months, and I was in pretty good shape when this photo shoot was on, and to have to talk about the products and to be pointing at my six-pack as I was 2 weeks out from Olympic trials, and then comparing my body then to what it is now after 3 months on the road, it's a pretty stark difference.
Well, I don't think anybody really minds too much.
I just go, yeah, that was me, and I'm going to get back there one day.
Yeah. Well, you got to go to London, not as a swimmer this time. Tell us what you were doing over there.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of work for a few companies back at home. Monster Headphones and also Caden Property Development Company. So I did a little bit of online blogging, so I was able to go to the events and still feel a part of it. And then on top of that, I did some DJing as well. So I was able to play at a nightclub called China White. It was a party put on by an Australian management company called The Last Lap. So to be able to DJ to some Australian swimmers, and a lot of the US swimmers got along as well. And Tyler Clary also DJ'd at the nightclub, which was a lot of good fun.
That must have been really interesting. I mean, that sounded like you were probably busier than you were if you were to have been a swimmer.
Yeah, I was flat out. I was waking up every morning, jumping on the tube, getting as much footage as I could of athletes. I was handing out headphones to key Australian athletes, and then trying to double that with a little bit of a holiday as well, and then catching as much action not only in the pool but then also the triathlon, the marathon, getting to the track, and I also saw some basketball. So after 2 weeks of the Olympics, I was pretty exhausted.
I'm sure you were. Well, let's get viewers caught up on your past Olympic experience. 2008, you won 3 medals. I believe it was bronze in the 400 free relay, silver in the 400 medley relay, and bronze in that 100 fly.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, everybody around the world remembers that 100 fly for that amazing touch by Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems like, if I were to ask people what are your thoughts of that 100 fly, that's what they think of. But probably was it like that back in Australia when you came home and showed off that medal?
To be honest, it was. The way I described the race was, the 100 fly where it didn't look like Michael Phelps won, but he beat Milorad Cavic. Yeah, well, I got third in that race. And they're like, oh, you're in that race? Good on you. And then I say, oh, yeah. And then I out-touched Ian Crocker, the world record holder, by the same margin as what Phelps got. Yeah. Cavic was the .01. So it was an amazing race to be part of. And I was on the dais with Phelps for his 7th and 8th gold medals in Beijing. So to be standing next to him on the podium, and then to do the lap of honour and be able to throw my flowers to my parents was something really special.
Well, just really thinking about it, all 3 of your medals, you were part of some pretty historic moments. Yeah. I mean, obviously you weren't, I guess your name wasn't really a part of them, but you were in the water when they were happening. I mean, what do you think about all that? Yeah,
it's pretty crazy upon reflection. Michael Phelps is the most amazing athlete of all time, and to be part of something that special was something that at the time I was almost on cloud 9, so I took it for granted. But upon reflection, it's life changing, and something that I'm really proud of now. That I may be hanging up my swimmers. I'm still haven't got back in the water since Olympic trials 3 months ago. But if I'm waiting for the pool to call me back. I don't want to get back in the water if I don't want to get back in the water. Right. But if at some stage I do want to get back, I want to do it for the right reasons, which is to go to the Olympics. So 4 years time, time in Rio. I've given myself a good little holiday here with London, Berlin, Croatia, now in Vegas. So you know, I've stretched my holiday time out, so it could be time to either get serious with work or get back in the pool.
Or you got to get that six-pack back.
No, exactly right. That's not going to come lightly.
Well, I mean, even if you don't get back in the pool, which I'm sure all of Australia is really hungry to maybe see you back in there. I mean, you got maybe a future career as a DJ. I know Tyler Clary has really thought that could be something he might want to do.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to be able to, you know, on the weekend to go out and play the music that you like and make a little bit of cash on the side. So if it is getting into production of music and then DJing and then also being tie that hand in hand with the work that I'm doing at Engine, mate, I'm not going to complain, that's for sure.
Not at all. Now, the Australians did very well in Beijing. A lot of medals won there. Very few medals won in London. I know you weren't on the team, you weren't around them per se, but what is your opinion about why Australia didn't swim so well in London?
I think the expectation of the Australians, the expectation of the Australian team and how well all the other countries were going to perform were exceeded. I think a lot of other countries were really able to step up and they took their performances to a whole nother level. Whereas the Australians, if you were to look across the board, were relatively the same times as what they did at the trials, if not a little bit slower. So possibly that pressure cooker environment that the Olympics is, a lot of them weren't able to cope with that, and then whereas the other countries really stepped up. So if that's got to do with the amount of racing that's been going on by the Australian team, or if it was, you know, the length of time in the preparation leading in towards London, or, you know, I'm not sure what it is, and they're going to have an inquiry into possibly why those results weren't as good as what we saw. But in saying that, you know, we still had the girls win the 4x100, and we had some really good performances from Alicia Coots winning the 5 gold medals, and then, you know, James Magnuson was that .01 away from gold medals. And if you flip a couple of those results where you get getting the silver, the bronze, and the fourth into gold medals, it changes everyone's opinion. Absolutely. And often it can be, you know, the reaction time off the block or a better streamline. It comes down to this much. So the difference between, you know, an inquiry or an absolute celebration from the Australian team's Olympic results is not far away.
Well, you were definitely a part of that. I mean, you were, you know, a stroke, a reaction time away from either winning a bronze medal or getting fourth in 900 fly. So you definitely know what that's
exactly
like.
Right. Doesn't triple Olympic medalists have a much better ring to it than dual Olympic medalists?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure it does. So we're here at the ASCA World Clinic. You're getting to meet a lot of coaches. Have you ever considered coaching as a job?
It's something that I'm going to actually dabble in once I get back to Australia. I've signed up to look after my old high school swimming team for this season, and so it's not a serious school about swimming. So it's just going to be 4 or 5 sessions a week, and they can come in and I'll just teach them the skills, and then hopefully they can perform better come the major racing day. But at this stage, it's something that I would like to dabble in, but not do full time, and then just see if that passion for it really picks up. But I do really enjoy doing swimming clinics and then giving back to athletes and seeing them progress. So it could be something that DJing, working for Engine, and swim coach. Mate, I've got too many options.
There'll be a full day.
And I've got to get the 6-pack back as well. Busy.
Well, you'll be very busy. Now behind you, we got a cover of the Cal Berkeley swimmers winning their NCAA championships. How is college swimming viewed in Australia? Is it something that's just like whatever, you know, not really as important?
Yeah, to be honest, it's something that there's not a whole lot of education about in Australia. We don't know about how massive and how developed the college system is over here. It's something that we progress straight from high school into college, but there's no major college sporting infrastructure put in place in Australia. So our concept of, you know, the ability to come over here and train and, you know, live and, you know, train with the best coaches in the world, it's something that is a little bit of an untapped resource. We're seeing now, you know, USC with Usman Luli and a lot of these international guys that other countries are catching on, and it'd be really good to see a few Australians come over here and trial it out. Matt Targett had great success at Auburn University, so he's testament to the program working for Australians. It's just about almost having the conditions too good in Australia where people aren't, you know, looking outside the box, so that they're almost content with what we've got in Australia. But it wouldn't surprise me if, based off the back of our Olympic results, a few other guys are looking at the amazing success that the US had and the guys training in the college systems and do make the move over.
Yeah, it might be a little scary if James Magnuson decided to say, I'm going to go to college in the U.S. We might have a lot of guys sweating it out and wondering if they really want to go up against him. But
the big missile.
It would be a big missile performance for him. Well, Andrew, thanks so much for joining us. Good to see you here in Vegas. And no matter what happens, I'm sure we all would love to see you back in the pool. But whatever happens, best of luck to you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
All right, so that's Andrew Lauterstein joining us here at the ASCA Clinic in Las Vegas. I'm Jeff Cummings. Thanks for watching.